Like I was saying in the email, this class is mainly a Qigong class, and we're going to do some Tai Chi movements, but really Qigong is to get you turning on what we call the Qigong state or Qi flow. So when you do any form, whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, you can plug in the inside mechanics of what we do in this class. And we'll do a bunch of Qigong forms, but thematically, they're all trying to get us to the same place. So we're going to start casually. When I look down, I want my feet to be slightly straight, and I want my hips to be over my ankles. Once I have that connection on, I just barely sit down, like on the edge of a stool. Then my head floats up, and I put the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So I relax my shoulders down, into my hands, almost like your hips into your feet. This is our basic standing pose. So a lot of people, when they stand, their core gets lazy and turns off. So their back has to do extra work. So when I'm here, my core kind of comes in towards the spine, and I lift my solar plexus. But I'm not crunching my spine. It's just a little gentle engagement here. And that helps stabilize my spine. Also, it helps connect the upper and lower part of the body in the central area here. So this is called Wuji or posture 0. And the connection to the upper and lower is somewhere in this band or belt area here. So I really want to play with this feeling here. And we're just going to stand here for a little bit. And if you're new to Qigong, Tai Chi breathing, we use the diaphragm. So when I inhale, my diaphragm turns on, my ribs expand. When I exhale, my diaphragm turns off, and my ribs release. When I inhale, diaphragm turns on, belly expands a little bit. And when I exhale, the belly comes back towards the spine. We're going to do this diaphragmatic breathing, also known as belly breathing. And for the most part, in Tai Chi and Qigong, we always do this type of breathing unless you're doing a specific other type of breath pattern. I inhale, I notice expansion in the body. And when I exhale, I notice lengthening or releasing in the body. Inhale. Exhale. It's all about the breathing. Moves are extra, postures are extra, all about the breath. Okay, so on your own, I want you to add 2 seconds, 3 seconds optional to your inhale and your exhale. So I have to go a little bit slower without holding my breath. I'm going to inhale up. Exhaling. Inhaling, expansion. Exhaling, lengthening. So on your own, you regulate your breath. And over time, I want to increase my breath capacity by 1, 2, 3 seconds on both the inhale and exhale, just for the quality of the breath. So I don't want to strain the breath and hold the breath. I don't want the tension to build. So before we get into the Qigong Tai Chi postures, we're going to warm up the joints. I'm going to either go onto the ankles and go up on the balls of feet and heels. If that's too much, I just shift forward and back from the heels and ankles. I don't lift up if I don't want to. So you have options. I do one more, then I find a flat foot, and I just go to the center of the balls of the feet, center of the heels. Balls of the feet, heels. It feels like I'm loading a plate, and I'm loading this pressure like a gas pedal or guitar pedal. And this is considered shifting forward and back. Even in the symmetrical pose, shift forward and back. The weight goes slightly to the front of the foot, the weight goes slightly to the heel. Once I get this movement okay, I'm going to introduce the breathing. I inhale as I go back. Exhale as I come forward. Inhale and exhale, nice and smooth. Once I find the forward and back, I find the middle now. I put my feet together, I go forward and back from my knees. Once I find this forward and back feeling, I find a middle, I do a quarter-size circle for my knees, not too big. There's warming up the joints. It's called opening the gates, Qigong. I go opposite way. And we do it every class for the most part. And I come up, I step out, I go hips side to side. Nice and easy. And once I get the forward and back, or the left and right here, I'm gonna go circle. And so you're moving through honey. And opposite way. And back to the middle. Okay, I stabilize my hips by turning the glutes on a little bit, and I just turn my waist. So my shoulders move side to side, but my hips don't. My hips stay squared to the front of the room. I just turn my waist like I'm turning a bus wheel. And I turn it off, back to zero. I do shoulder rolls, nice and easy. I roll up the front, I relax down the back. I can inhale up and exhale down. Then I change the flow. I go the opposite way. Inhale up the back, exhale down the front. And back to the middle. I alternate shoulder roll. And I go the opposite way. And back to the middle, neutral. I go elbow circles. If you did an arm swings a while, on part of the circle, there's a dropping and floating feeling. I go the opposite way. And wrists. I go to the wrists. I do wrist circles. And we're threading a string through all the joints. We have ankle, knees, hips, opposite way, shoulder, elbows, wrists. And I turn it off. Okay, I'm gonna pull the strings out of my finger. I start with the left pinky, I pull the string, I throw the string into the ground, then we thread it in from the feet, all the way up. I do the opposite side. Pinky, all the way to the thumb. Okay, so I did the periphery of the body. Now we're gonna do the center of the body, the spine. So I bend my knees. If they're not already bent, I go forward and back from the lumbar spine. And my hands can manually help me move the pelvic bowl. If I can, I don't move my head or my chest too much. Once I have this motion, I find the middle. And I go left and right, like pistons. My hips stay over my feet. They don't move side to side. They just go up and down on the left and the right. And middle. And then the tip of my tailbone draws a circle. I go forward, left, back, and right. Opposite way. And middle. Okay. Core is on, solar plexus lifts a little bit, and I go forward and back from the solar plexus just to massage the thoracic part of the spine. I can always coordinate breathing with these movements. Inhale, exhale. I massage my lungs, my heart, liver and stomach, the ribs, anything I feel or don't feel. It just gives a gentle massage with the breath. And then I find one more open and close. Then I find a neutral middle here. So my ribs kind of stay sealed. They're not sticking out. Then I go left and right. And middle. Then I go forward, left, back and right. Opposite way. And middle. Okay. Core is on, solar plexus lifts, tongue's on the roof of the mouth, and my head floats up to the ceiling. I go forward and back from the cervical part of the spine. And we're just opening the joints and moving the fluid in the joints. And sometimes this creates heat by the movement. And then the breathing helps that feeling, like oxygen and a fire. Then I go back to the middle, left and right. Try not to move your shoulders. And middle. Forward, left, back, and right. The tip of my nose draws a horizontal circle. Opposite way. Back to the middle. Okay, I'm gonna do all the joints. Right hand, solar plexus. Left hand below the belly button. The upper body, when I inhale, just the upper body, my elbows go up, my hands don't move, and I rotate around my hands. So it's like you're doing a chicken wing here. I open the shoulders, and I roll them forward close. That's what my upper body is doing. My lower body is bowing. So I inhale, I do a mini back bend, it rolls up the spine. When I exhale, I do a mini forward fold. I bend my knees here. So when I inhale, I stand up, I roll up. When I exhale, I fold forward. And there's that spinal roll in my spine. If I target the lumbar spine, maybe my head doesn't go as high on the up. Maybe I just stay low a little bit. I really massage the lower spine, kidney area. I inhale up, exhale down. If I go a little bit higher, I get into the thoracic spine. Chest opens up here. I roll down. So now I get the lumbar, thoracic spine, and I roll back down. If I want to get to cervical spine, when I go to the top of the wave, my chin lifts up, then my chin falls forward. When I inhale, it comes up lumbar, thoracic, cervical, top of the head, exhale, I roll forward. I'm going to make the wave a little bit smaller, and you can, on your own, articulate all the spine, or really just work on one part of the spine today. And there's movement that's happening that generates friction. And I'm breathing into the spine, inhaling up, exhaling down. I let my hands go. I make the wave a little bit more smaller, but you can still see it. I inhale up. So my shoulders still float up on the inhale here, just a little bit, just to feel this wave. I'm going to make the wave invisible. I go back to posture zero Wuji, and just my mind and my breathing generates the wave. And I inhale, there's expansion in the body, the wave comes up. And when I exhale, there's lengthening in the body as the wave goes down. I inhale up, I exhale down. My teacher will always say, when you inhale, you stack the bones up. When you exhale, you hang the muscles down. Same idea. I'm going to gather, inhale up, exhaling down. Inhale, I gather. It's like pouring a bucket of warm water on top of you. I cap the top of my head with the bucket. I pour the water through my body all the way into the ground. One more. Cool. Back to Uchi. That's the first of the loosening exercise to remove tension, create circulation and flow. So we move to the second one, which you commonly see is just this arm swings feeling. And so swing my arms. On your own. My feet stay connected to the ground. My core is slightly engaged. Solar plexus is lifting. Tongue is on the roof of the mouth. All those things we covered, I try not to lose. I try not to let it turn off. Once I get the flow of these arm swings, I calibrate. I do a little bit less effort, especially on the up. Use less muscles to let your arms come up. Maybe you can notice the air, temperature of the air. I really want to feel this on and off switch inside the muscles. Now all I'm going to do now is stretch my fingers at the top of the swing. Almost like you're throwing a rubber ball forward. Also, my vision stares 6 feet in front of me. I want to stare at a point on the wall or a mental point I make up. I want to give a direction or an intention to this arm swings to move forward. I take away the stretch in the hands, I keep the arm swings going. I start noticing the top and the bottom, the floating up top and sinking below. And I have to make a perspective change. I float, I sink. I'm going to slow down one layer. So I have to consciously, either with my intent or my willpower, I slow this movement down. I slow down another layer, getting closer into the Qigong, Tai Chi time zone, but still relatively smooth. Moderately fast. But this is when I start calibrating because I have to use more appropriate muscle control to make this action appear smooth. And that's what we're really trying to get into. The synchronizing of the body, the breathing, and the mind. On the last Tai Chi time zone here, I slow down one more layer, I go into the Tai Chi time zone. Maybe I can feel the resistance of the air still. Maybe I can feel the temperature of the air. I only use the muscles I need to float up. And I slowly turn the muscles off as I sink down. And I inhale as I come up, there's floating. Exhale as I come down, there's sinking. So the first Tai Chi energy is just floating, sinking. Inhale, float. Exhale, sink. Breathing in. Breathing out. Couple more. Synchronizing your breathing, your mind, and your body on your own. So you have to respect your limitations and remember your potential. Breathing in. Breathing out. When I inhale, I relax the hands a little bit. And on my exhale, I stretch the fingertips a little bit. Inhale, I maybe go to the balls of the feet. When I exhale, maybe I sit on the heel. So my movement becomes in 3D. Inhale, slightly coming forward. Exhale, sitting down. Inhale up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And one more, inhaling up to the peak. Exhaling down to the valley. On my last one here, I'm going to hold my hands at the peak. Inhale up. When I exhale, I relax my hands somewhere on the top of the wave. So it feels like my hands are floating on a plank of wood that's on the surface of the water. That's shoulder height, maybe it's nipple height, maybe it's chin height. You have to find out on your own, where can I hold my hands up with the least amount of effort? It feels like my wrists, my elbow, my shoulder are hanging on clothing lines. I go slightly to the balls of the feet, just a little bit. This is considered a yang posture. I just hold it. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale into the core, into the belly. By exhale, I lengthen down to the fingers, down to the feet, to the top of my head. I inhale, expansion. Exhale, lengthening. Even though my arms are up, I still lengthen on the inside down to the fingers. Another analogy is you're imagining you're standing in a riverbed and the water is flowing from behind you to the front. So I have this stream, this image of water flowing forward. On my next exhale, I shift to my heels, my hands come down to the peak, down to the valley, and I sit in the riverbed. And the water drains a little bit, so my hands are barely touching the surface of the water. My feet are sinking into the mud, and I hold. Now it feels like the river switches directions and is flowing towards me. But the resistance of the water behind me supports me. So my awareness is behind me as well. We just hold this posture. Just consider a yin posture. When I inhale into the belly. When I exhale down the arms into the hands, down the legs into the feet. I root my energy to the extremity, down to the feet, into the ground. Just consider rooting your energy in Qigong and Tai Chi. Especially on the exhale, I can alleviate some tension and stress away from the spine without collapsing the body. Every time I exhale, it feels like I sink in the mud just a little bit. Sinking into the basement, maybe, if you're on the East Coast. Foundation of the house. Sinking into the dirt beneath the house. And keep sinking like the roots of a tree. And likewise, either I imagine my roots or I mentally project my awareness into the ground, or just physically, I relax my mass onto my bones into the ground. On my next inhale, I'm going to go to the peak and the valley. Inhale up, exhaling down. If you did it correctly, you should feel slightly different in the movements now. And this is the Tai Chi Qigong state we're trying to look for. One more. Then go back to Uji. Whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to gather on the inhale, like a bucket. And when I exhale, I store it away. I wash all of the body. I release the excess into the ground. Inhale, I gather. On the exhale, I download it to my hard drive. I empty the trash. And one more. Inhale, gathering above. And I pour it down through my body. Back to Uji. Okay, next arm swings is the bird one. And there's a little bounce in your legs, optional, to let the legs pump. I shouldn't feel it in the joints. It should be the tendons of the lower legs that I'm bouncing from. I don't want to load my knee like a shock absorber. No bueno. And you have to calibrate halfway through, do a little bit less. Notice the air, maybe the temperature. I notice the muscles turning on to go up, the muscles turning down to go off, to release. I want to find this light switch on the inside, on and off. It's a little hard sometimes to find the light switch, so that's why we stretch the fingers for a couple rounds on this next move. I stretch at the top, I stretch, release, and then I can really see the on and off. It's really explicit here. Stretch your hands on, then off, on, off. So now I should definitely feel the on and off. Notice what turns on when you stretch your hands. Notice how the joints feel like they're moving maybe away from your spine on the top of the wave. I take away the stretch. I keep the arm swings going. And I still notice the top of the wave, on and off. Then I switch my perspective or perception. I focus on the down. I float and I sink now. Floating, sinking. And just refined muscle control is all we're looking for. I want to get into a sufficient state where I only use the muscles I need to make this action happen, which is a little easier said than done, of course. Once I get that feeling, I start slowing it down one layer. So it's not in Tai Chi time zone yet, but smoother. So I really have to synchronize the muscles to make this smooth appearance happen. I slow it down another layer, and the bounce becomes smaller. I slow down one last layer and get into this Qigong time zone. Now I can synchronize the body, the breath, and my brain all together. I inhale up, expansion, notice it. Exhaling down, lengthening, notice. I inhale, exhale. When I inhale, I relax my hands a little bit. It feels like helium balloons, float them up. When I exhale, I stretch my fingers as I press them down. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. I do one more set here. Once I find this peak here, I'm gonna inhale. My last one here, I hold on top of the peak. So I'm on the balls of the feet. My fingers stay on, but my wrist, my shoulder to elbow feels like they're hanging on clotheslines. And you have to find out on your own, where can I keep my hands out to the side and I feel the strongest? It's up to you. Once I find that, I plug in all the fingertips, 2%, and just hold. And if I need to take a break, it's okay. So on an exhale, it feels like all my joints are lengthening away from the spine. On an inhale, it feels like all my joints expand. On an exhale, they lengthen. On an inhale, they expand here. And if I want to, when I inhale, I can focus on this floating feeling. I become a little bit lighter. And when I exhale, I can focus on this sinking feeling. I become a little bit more stable. On my next exhale, my hands come down. I shift to the heels. I sink my weight. And we're going to cross the arms here, where the arm swings happen, and I hold. And it feels like I'm holding a watermelon, and the weight of the watermelon sinks me down. If you've seen Black Panther, which is a great movie, this is their salute. Wakanda forever. Breathing in, breathing out. Imagine you're squeezing a rubber ball on your chest, and when you inhale, you can feel the expansion to the space that you're holding. I do one more. Then on my exhale, I let go. Then I inhale up and down. I map the peak and valley again. So we held static poses in the peaks and the valley. Now I move through them fluid-wise, with the breath, with my awareness. And one more. I come back to posture 0, Wuji. I notice the feeling, sensations left over from doing that Qigong exercise. I breathe into it. I breathe out from it. And I gather 3 times. One more. Okay, last one is shifting and twisting. I shift and I twist. Last Qigong with the arm swings. And the places we're tapping are considered meridian points or acupuncture points to stimulate flow of energy, to stimulate the organs, your immune system, to alleviate stress and tension. So we're going to start tapping the body, inside the lung, inside the shoulder. liver and stomach. Large intestine. There's a shift and a twist. Hips. Now I'm gonna go up the center line and I tap the center of my chest if I can. My elbow has to help to make the circle smaller, or I tap my lungs again, which is okay, but not what we're doing. In the middle, liver and stomach is solar plexus. So I tap the solar plexus. Once again, my elbow has to help me pull in, or else I just tap the liver and stomach again, not the middle. I tap my navel in the middle. Bladder. Bladder and sacrum. I go one more space. I do navel and the sides of my lower back, kidneys. If I keep this motion going, I make it big out here, this motion turns into cloud hands. So the shifting and twisting doesn't change, just the hands change a little bit. And my hands are moving on 2 circles, opening the box. I slow down 1 layer. There's a shift and a twist, shift and a twist. I slow down again, it gets a little thicker, like I'm moving a jello. I'm doing it with you guys. And I slow down again. I inhale to the middle. I exhale to the sides. Breathing in, breathing out. And both hands move on a circle. And they open up to the center line, alternating. The shift happens, the waist turn, hands move. Shift, waist, hands. The legs generate the power. Your waist distributes the power. Your hands express the power. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I should feel, if I'm shifting correctly, the next time I go left, my right foot should be able to pull in. I can step out to the left, and my right foot pulls in. Likewise, if I go to the right, when my right foot steps out, my hands go left, I shift into the right foot, and my left foot comes in. I can step out, I can step in. If I step the left foot out 1 more time, I come back into Wuji, and I just stay here. But the movements are the same. There's still a shift and a twist. It feels like I could lift a leg if I wanted to, once I shifted away, even though I don't have to. So eventually, 1 leg supports the whole body. So here, for instance, I can pull the leg in if I wanted to on that shift. I can pull my left foot in if I wanted to on the shift. That's a little bit more challenging, but it should feel the same here. That means I'm shifting the weight correctly. And this is what Tai Chi specializes in, really shifting the weight and knowing where my weight is going versus just moving mindlessly or automatic like a machine. Maybe 1 more. I come back into this beach ball shape, second posture. I hold. My hands are either near my solar plexus, nipple, or chest, somewhere here. I want to find out where's the most efficient place I can hold my hands up. I inhale, the balloon expands in my hands. And exhale, I squeeze the balloon. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, compression. When I inhale, I relax the hands. And exhale, I stretch my hands. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Couple more on your own, synchronizing the body, the breath, and your brain, all three together, all three centers. Do one more. And I come down to Wuji. Now we're going to combine the opening move, inhale up, expand, compress, sink. Depending on my breath capacity, I do 4-phase breathing, which is inhale up, exhale, I can expand, inhale, I compress, and exhale, I sink. If my breath is okay, like 5-7 seconds, I inhale up, I continue to inhale as I expand. Exhale when I compress, continue to exhale and I sink. If I can do that without straining my breath or holding my breath, you have to either do 4-phase or 2-phase breathing. It's up to you, no one's watching. It's just being honest with yourself. There's no test at the end of this class. Inhale up, inhale, expand, exhale, compress, exhale, sink. Do one more 2-phase breathing. And go back to 4-phase breathing just to see. Inhaling up here, slower. Exhale, expand. Inhale, I gather in, I compress. Then exhale, I sink. Inhale, 1. Exhaling, 2. Inhaling, 3. Exhaling, 4. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna end in embrace the tree, hold the beach ball posture. Here. I inhale up through my body, hands don't move. I expand through the body. And when I exhale, there's compression and sinking. When I inhale, there's floating, expansion in the body. And when I exhale, there's compression and sinking, all on the inside. Okay, if I just turn my waist, my hands don't move, it's optical illusion. Just my waist turns. My hands don't move. My hands relatively stay in front of me. Okay, and I turn it off. Now when I turn the waist to the right hand rotates up, left hand rotates down. I release the waist, the hands come back to the middle. I turn the waist left, hands rotate, I release the waist. Turn, release. Turn, release. Whatever way I turn, that hand goes up. And when I release, they're neutral. I do one more to the left, back to the middle. So now I turn the waist here, but now instead of just turning it off, when I release the waist here, my left hand goes forward, my right hand goes down. Ward off. You should feel like you're still in embrace the tree. There's minimal adjustment. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. Look at the curve in my arm. Then look, when I turn the waist to the left, I rotate the ball, left side. I release the waist, right hand forward, left hand down. Ward off. It should feel like you're holding the tree. Same posture. I inhale, I turn. Exhale, I stretch. Inhale, I gather. Exhale, I send it out. Inhale, turn to the side. When I exhale, I end up facing the middle. So I shouldn't be here. That's not facing the middle. I should be here. Inhale. Exhale. One more. I hold the beach ball. My left foot steps forward. My right foot has to open up a little bit so my hip and my knee can be relaxed. Keeping the hands neutral, I shift forward and back. My hands can go to my belly if I need to. If my shoulders are getting too tight. I just shift forward and back. Notice how my head tracks over a foot, but I don't move from my head, I move from my core. Okay, this is the first movement is one. Okay, now when I shift back, next one, I turn my waist. I shift forward here. I release the waist. And I hold the ball. When I shift back, I turn the waist, right hand up, left hand down. When I shift forward, when the waist turns, left hand forward, right hand down. Ward off. Then like I hold the ball as I shift back. I turn the waist, ball rotates. I shift forward, I throw the frisbee. So 1, 2, 3, fourth movement. I'm gonna do it with you. 1, shift back. 2, turn the waist, rotate the ball. 3, shift forward. Then 4, when the waist turns, the hands go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Either I do 2-phase breathing, breathing in on 1 and 2, and exhale on 3 and 4. Or maybe I have to do 4-phase breathing. I inhale on 1, I exhale on 2. I inhale on 3, and exhale on 4. Breathing in, breathing out. Ward off. Breathing in, breathing out. Shift, twist, shift, twist. And one more on the left side. Okay, to get to the other side, I shift back now. Instead of going to my right, I open the left foot, and I rotate the ball on the left side. I shift into the left foot, right foot comes in. I step the right foot out and over into my bow stance. I shift away, my waist turns at the end. We're off right. Same sequence. I hold the ball, I shift back, I turn my waist to the left, rotate the ball. Shift forward, and throw the frisbee. Breathing in, breathing out. So it's 4 movements, basically. Hold the ball. First move is a shift. Second move is a waist turn, hands rotate. Third movement is a shift. Fourth movement, waist turn, hands move. Shifting, turn to waist. Nice and smooth. Now we're gonna make it smoother. Breathing in, breathing out. I'll do it with you. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, if I want to step in a small space, we're going to do the same exercise. So, I'm facing right foot forward now. I'm on the right side of my body. Right hand is forward, right foot is forward. When I shift back, I open the right side, I open the ball. I step in, I step out and over. I shift away, I throw the frisbee. I'm going to do one more forward. I shift back, I open the ball. I step into the left foot. I step out and over. I shift away, then I throw the frisbee. Okay, now I want to change because I'm in a small apartment in Singapore, so I want to turn around. So now when I shift back, I rotate the ball, but my right foot turns in, it hooks in, right foot, and I sit into the right side. I step out and over, and lo and behold, I do ward off. Now I'm facing the other way. I shift back, open, I step in, the right foot goes out and over, I shift away, I turn the waist, ward off. I do one more. Inhale as you go back, open the right foot. Exhale as I step forward and out, and I throw the frisbee. Okay, now to turn behind me. This is the tricky transition. I shift to the right, my left foot pivots in, and I rotate the ball on the left side. Once the left foot gets either here or here, depending on my hips, I step into the left foot. Then I step out and over, I do ward off right. 1, shift, turn, step, ward off left. One more. Okay, transition. I shift back to the left. My right foot pivots in from the heel. I hold the ball on the right side. I shift into the right foot. Left foot goes out, goes ward off. 1, shift, inhale. Exhaling 2. 1 more. Inhale. Exhaling 3. Okay, I'm doing facing you to see that transition. I shift back, left foot pivots in. I hold the ball on the left side. I step into the left foot. Now I step to my right, out and over. I shift away and I turn to waist. Hold. So you should be right foot forward on this bow stance. I shift back, shift in, step, ward off left. I do 1 more. Open, close, out and over. Here. To get back to the other angle, I shift to the left, right foot pulls in. I hook, I hold the ball, then look, I pull into the right foot. Now I'm gonna step out and over. I shift away. When I turn my waist, my back foot and hip has to stay connected. Ward off. If I drag my front foot parallel to the hip, I come into Wuji, then my right hand floats up. I should feel, oh, minimal movement. I press top of the beach ball. I press the beach ball down into water. I stand up. I got it 3 times. One more. Back to 0. It's called shaking the body Qigong. Really simple. I plug my feet in, I just shake my whole body. And we're doing for like a couple minutes. And on your own, you monitor your body. See how much you can feel and notice how much you can't feel. I want to notice the knots in the body, the tension. But then I have like relaxed spots in the body or looseness in the body. I want to notice that too. I want to notice my joints bouncing. Maybe your muscles, maybe the fat, maybe the skin. Maybe you can feel your organs bouncing, which is good. I'm gonna start adding fake sighs once in a while in the bouncing. Like a free massage. My shoulders are bouncing, my hips, my elbows and knees, my ankles and my wrists. Even my spine feels like a spring, bouncing. Okay, I'm gonna stretch my fingertips a little bit. I stretch my feet a little bit. I make the bouncing a little bit faster. Maybe I go to the balls of the feet if I want to. So it's like a massage chair. You control the rate of vibration. Once in a while, add your own fake sigh and notice how it changes. A little bit faster, on your own, if it's appropriate. Okay, I'm gonna start slowing it down. It gets into the slower frequency. So it's a little bit looser and deeper into the muscles, into the bones. Versus the first one's more tendons, you would say, or muscle ends. This is a little bit deeper. So it's a slower, deeper bounce. I'm slow it down even more. And I turn it off. I just sit in the middle of that. I connect shoulders to my hands, hips to my feet, my head floats up. So on the inside, it feels like all my joints are moving away from my spine. When I inhale, it feels like all the joints are expanding. And when I exhale, it feels like all the joints are lengthening. If I can't feel that, either I imagine it or I focus only on one joint to really hyper-focus on this feeling. And all that sensations and feelings, images, we're going to collect, store, and release. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. Inhale. And exhale. Back to Wuji. Nice and comfortable. My head connects to the ceiling, to the sky. My feet connect to the floor, into the earth. I relax my shoulders, open and away from each other, and the weight transfers to my fingertips. And it feels like I'm holding something, so my fingers have a shape in my hand. Not sleeping hand, not too much coffee hand. Shape. I'm going to gently tap my lower back, sacrum area, with the back of my wrist. I'm going to tap the bony part of the hips in the front, pelvic ridge. Iliac crest. Alternate drumming. It feels like I'm holding an egg in my fist or a roll of quarters. It just means there's space in my hands. Okay, we're going to focus on the hips and the sacrum. When I inhale, I feel or I imagine there's expansion in the hips, in the sacrum. And when I exhale, I lengthen from my hips down into my feet. When I inhale, the hips fill up. And when I exhale, I pour it down into my feet. Breathing into the hips. Breathing out and down. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, now we're moving up to the middle center, the sternum. I gently put my hands together, I just gently tap on my sternum. Oh. And I slowly turn it off. If your core, hips connect to the legs, obviously the chest and shoulders connect to your arms. So I inhale into the sternum, into my chest, but then I exhale down the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands. Inhaling into the chest, ribs expand, then exhale down. One more. Okay, last 2 squats. I would cut my ears and I gently drum on the back of the skull. And I'm going to gently drum top of the head, front to back, sides of that line, and then above the ear line. And 1 more. Okay, now the back of my skull and my sacrum, I'm going to inhale up the back, into the sacrum, into the brain, into the back, and I exhale, I pour it down into the core. I inhale up, tailbone, sacrum, lumbar spine, thoracic spine, cervical, through that point is the access point that goes into the brain. Then I exhale, like water, I pour it down. I inhale up, exhale down. And 1 more. I'm going to gather 3 times. Inhaling. When I exhale, I pour it down through all the joints of the body, through the bones, through the muscles, through all the tissue. Inhale, I gather. When I exhale, I swash all the cells of the body here. I take what I need, and I give the excess back into the earth. 1 more. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Back to Wuji.